The year is 2021 when I see this anime clip circulating the web, going viral about this anime girl doing a Fortnite dance, and I think to myself, man, I've gotta know what this is. The story follows Gene Feeney, a production assistant who's given his all to film, is abruptly tasked with making his directorial debut, titled Meister, produced by the titular character Pompo. A young producer considered to be a filmmaking genius, but known for making B-movies, Fortnite girl aka Natalie Woodward moves to Nollywood, yes, fictional Hollywood, with the hopes of becoming an actress, but isn't able to commit to her dreams until she's already cast as a leading lady. And lastly, Alan Gardner, a guy Gene went to school with who works at the Nollywood Bank, who isn't having the best time. Meister, a film about a conductor named Albert who loses everything giving his all to music and rediscovers his passion after meeting a young girl in the Swiss Alps. Meister mirrors the story being told and teaches the audience about the characters in the film while building up the characters and allowing them to grow.
I'm here! 'Tis I, Pompo!
April 2022 comes around and G-Kids announces that they'll be showing Pompo the Cinephile in America.
When TJ dragged me to watch Pompo with them, I didn't know anything about it. All he told me is that it was a movie about making a movie, and that it was peak, to quote them. Now, hearing the fabled rating of an Emoto 10 out of 10, I had to, out of respect for our friendship, watch this alleged masterpiece. And I was not lied to. On its surface, Pompo is a movie about making a movie. But watching it, I was struck with an interesting and amusing realization. Pompo is a movie about a fictional American live-action movie created inside an animated movie being made by a bunch of Japanese people. When you stop and think about it, getting your head around it all is a quite amusing thought. And if you watch the movie thinking about it, you can see it everywhere. Gene is an ostentatiously American character, bowing profusely when he apologizes, something I'm sure us all non-Japanese are very used to doing at any given moment. I don't know, maybe Gene is just a weeb, who knows, he's kind of a fucking nerd. It's not just Gene's mannerisms, Pompo herself embodies this Japan-American that permeates the movie. A young girl in a position that she is probably far too young to have, whose office is covered in pink and has a commanding grip on everyone around her. It's an archetype that I think many an anime fan has seen more than once. Even Natalie's famous dance has a funny story too. According to the director in an AMA they did on Reddit, a band called Da Pump released a song called USA, and everyone was doing the dance in Japan. Natalie tends to express her emotions with her body, so when she was confused or nervous, she dances. And because the song is called USA, and there are a lot of USA references in the film, we thought it would be perfect, so we put it in as homage. It's clear that America and its cultural influences are important to the movie. So what, Jackie? Why do I care that Gene is secretly a closeted weeb and Pompo is an archetypical anime character and Natalie's dance is from a funny song called USA? Well, dear viewer, I think understanding this can tell us something about the message of this movie, because while its broad ideas of chasing your dreams, not giving up, and living life according to your wants and desires is universal, let's go one step deeper. So let's get mic'd up, roll the cameras, and dive into this movie for a little anime anthropology. I think it's best to look at the American Hollywood drama inside this independent Japanese animated movie, Meister. Let me set the stage a bit here. Meister is a movie within the movie following Martin Braddock's character Dalbert fall from grace as an esteemed conductor and his rediscovery of his love of music through meeting a girl played by Natalie in the Swiss Alps. Dalbert gives everything to his career, losing his wife, daughter, and partially his mind to his work, and eventually completely alone. The only person to even still talk to him is his disgruntled coworker who, frankly, doesn't seem to like him too much either. Sounds like someone else I know. Gene? No. We'll talk about that guy later. I'm talking about this blondie. Alan is an odd character, seen for only one scene right near the beginning of the movie. He doesn't make his true entrance into the story until past the halfway point in Switzerland, where he's just come off failing to close a deal with a client. His disgruntled coworker telling him off in the middle of the street. A little harsh, don't you think, buddy? There, by chance, Alan runs into Gene and remembers how he ran into him once before back in high school. He remarks on how he used to look down on Gene for being a bit of a loner while he was a star student. Good grades, friends, and even a girlfriend. Yet now, despite being a perfect worker, a great citizen, and a prodigy even, Alan is very obviously alone and very depressed. Sounds like a certain German composer, doesn't it? Well, let's keep diving because the parallels don't end here. As we return to Nollywood, Alan is back in his depressing little cubicle and is contemplating quitting, and just as he's about to put in his 2 weeks to his boss, he by chance hears about the funding issue that Gene's movie is having due to needing reshoots. By his chance encounter with Gene in Switzerland, he takes on the job from his boss, meeting with Pompo, who helps him rediscover the passion for his work. Alan's journey mirrors Dalbert's very closely, both only through having their world crumble and being tossed out of their workplace, out of its safety and its comfort, realize what they really lost in the process of that pursuit of success. Blonde seems to be symbolic for dead-end people wanting more or a lack of fulfillment in this movie. But we see it too in Martin. While he doesn't have as much screen time, from the little we do here, Martin seems tired of acting, having not taken a role in years, returning to the screen due to a favor from Pompo's legendary director of a grandpa. He too rediscovers his love for work through making the movie. Mistia too, a B-rank actor often used on screen for her body and looks. Mistia, well, somewhat disconnected with her career throughout the movie. She seems to find far more interest in helping Natalie develop and grow as an actor than her own projects, even take an interest in her script and offering to help her with the fabled final reshoots, playing Dalbert's estranged wife. What's interesting, however, is she chooses to do so anonymously, hiding her blonde hair to do the role, holding out on making a realized on-screen debut in one of Gene's films, wanting to do so only when she can do so as the main character. Mistia hides her blonde hair, laying in wait so she can be reborn like Alan and Dalbert were in this film. How's that, sir? Some fucking top-tier English essay analysis. And all my bullies called me a nerd for paying attention in English class. Well, look at me now.
Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.
Okay, anyway. Miser's core idea is summed up very obviously. I mean, they literally tell us, to create something great, you have to sacrifice everything else. The movie lays it out for you there. To create great art, you have to sacrifice your family to your work like Dalbert. To be a great director, you have to push your dreams aside and grind it in the B-rank movies as a sex symbol like Mistia. To be an amazing banker, you gotta work your ass off and endure a hostile and depressing work conditions like Alan. Wait a second. This doesn't seem like a moral message. Is Pompo really trying to tell us that to be great, you have to destroy your life, relationships, and happiness in pursuit of some strange version of success? Seems a bit strange to me, and definitely not a very attractive message when you put it that way. Well, okay, let's look at Gene. I mean, he's our main character. If this message is true, then surely Gene blows up his whole life to achieve greatness, right? Yeah, the guy seems pretty happy to me. I mean, he's winning a fucking Nollywood Oscar. My man looks like Ke Huy Quan getting his. Okay, well, then what makes Gene different? Why is he not like Dalbert or Alan? Well, let's look back at that core idea. To create something great, you have to sacrifice everything else.
僕が映画に救われたように、僕の映画を見て、誰かが救われるように。
But really, apart from that, does he lose much to make this movie? What does he lose? Nothing. He works hard to achieve his dream, sure, but he gains everything. Accomplishment, adoration in his field. Guy literally gets to make a movie, something he's wanted to do since he was flashback aged. But most importantly, he makes friends. He builds a group around him that supports him, that cares for him, and when he needs it, help him when he needs help the most, who laugh, eat, and enjoy life together. All Gene loses was being an Alan, the thing that flashback Alan made fun of him for. Gene gave up being normal, a cog in the machine, having a safe, normal, soul-crushing life. In Japan, being normal means something very specific. It means getting a 9 to 5, more like an 8 to 10, given their work culture. It means doing well in school, taking extra classes, doing well on your exams. It means not having any weird hobbies, and if you do, keep them to yourself. It means don't be yourself. Don't chase that dream because you might fail, and in Japan, failure? Well, there's nothing worse than failure. I think that's why it's easy for us in North America to miss what this movie is trying to say. Here, being an individual, being yourself is our culture. Try to succeed, but do it your way. Be yourself. And sometimes Life makes that hard, but culturally and ideally in America, that's what's valued. I think this is why we Westerners, when we watch this movie, we miss what's being sacrificed because it's just not something that's important to us. We see Alan's shit life and we go, bro, quit. You're clearly depressed. I mean, I literally said that while watching the movie. Find what makes you happy, little bro. We see Gene living his dream life as Pompo's PA and think, let's go, Gene. You're living your amazing life. We see Natalie moving to the big city, trying her best and devoting everything to living her dream. We see how the kids in her hometown when she was a kid belittled her for wanting to be an actor, something that I think all of us can remember one person in our class wanting to be on career day. Man, those kids are some assholes. None of you want to be a fucking spaceman?
何かを残すということはそれ以外を犠牲にすることなんだって。自分だけじゃない。みんなの人生やお金も犠牲にしてここにいるんだ。そう思うと諦めるわけにはいかない。
Create something great, you have to sacrifice everything else. Everything in Pompo is the norm. It's sacrificing that fake self that Japanese society has tried to build you into. Safety for risk, money for dreams, normality for being your true self. And I think that's something maybe all of us need to hear a bit. Pompo the Cinephile says success comes to those who throw off what society wants them to be and chase their dreams unendingly. Alan finds happiness when he goes, fuck it, we ball, and throws his career on the line for a movie in something that I feel like in real life would totally have gotten him fired. Or Dalbert, who finds happiness when he learns to stop caring about what people want him to be and goes back to making music for himself. Or Gene, who in his moment of need uses the help of everyone he met along the way, Martin's performance, Natalie's company, Pompo's advice, and eventually his idol, Pompo's famous director grandpa, to finally complete the movie. Perhaps that's why this movie is strangely Japan-American. Maybe Pompo is trying to say, hey Japan, let's be more like our friends across the pond. Be yourself, make movies, and become great. Because as Gene says it, if I don't, I'll die. At least that's my 2 cents.
Given the simple nature of the plot and the means that I found this anime, I was pleasantly surprised with the film, given the fact I'm not a huge fan of movies. This is one of my favorites, not because of the innovative transitions, not because of the Fortnite dance, not because the film used every second to craft near perfection, but because it's a character-driven story that not only understands the characters, their wants, desires, but also understands the audience. This film is peak! And that's how Fortnite got me to watch a masterpiece.